Oh, God, I'm new at this. Hello, everybody. I'd like to call the meeting to order today on January 15th. And do we have a quorum? Wonderful. Well, let's start with introductions. I'll go here and then around. Victoria Chavez, El Paso County.
Todd Frisbee, City of Colorado Springs.
I'm Rao, Mountain Metro Transit.
Scott Skinner, Region 2 Transit Liaison.
Jeff Guthrie, CDOT Region 2 Planning Supervisor.
Lindsay Hawkes, good afternoon, CDOT Region 2 Planning.
Allison Burns, Mountain Metro.
Hal Archer, Air Force Academy.
Darren Horsemeyer, Community Planner at Schriever Space Force Base.
Beth Dukes, Community Planner at Peterson Space Force Base.
Danelle Miller, PPACG Transportation Planner.
Jess Bechtel, PPACG Tip Planner.
Audience?
I can go next. This is Ava Dravetti, City of Fountain, Deputy City Engineers.
Thank you, Andrew. All right, we'll come back to Andrew. Chris? Can you hear us online? Edward?
Hi, I'm Edward Coviello, Federal Transit Administration, Region 8.
Welcome. Tracy?
Hi, Tracy McDonald, FTA Region 8, Director for Planning and Program Development.
Isabel? All right, guess that's all we're going to have introduced. And then we have Will. I can't see who else we have over there. Danelle, why don't you just introduce for us?
Sure, we have Will Mast, our GIS and modeling manager. We have Lisa Gagnon, our new transit planner. We have Casey Fortman, one of our GIS and land use modelers, GIS planner, and also Jesse Theron, who is also one of our GIS analysts here at PPACG.
And we have somebody sauntering in. And that's John Leosados from PPACG. And before we go with the agenda, I wanted to ask if we could send out the roster and the procedures for updating that. We have a lot of new people on TAC, and I want to make sure that everybody understands how to, become a voting member and move those things around. I know I have one I need to move around. And so I just wanted if we could send that out to everybody on TAC and make sure everybody understands that.
Certainly, staff will do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Should we make sure everyone has the TIP policies and procedures, since that's probably coming up for a revisit soon?
How about the bylaws as well?
We'll send the bylaws.
Get everything out there, get all the new people up to speed.
Maybe our Yelp page, so you could give us 5 stars. Oh, wait, we don't really have a Yelp page, sorry.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for doing that. I appreciate it. We have an agenda in front of us today. Are there any changes from PPACG? No, any changes from the group? I will accept a motion then.
Todd Frisbee, City of Colorado Springs. I motion that we accept the agenda for today.
Do I have a second?
This is Lan. I second.
Thank you, Lan. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that is approved unanimously. Do we have any public comments, Jared? Oh, thank you for sharing that with me. Any public comments from the audience here or members? Okay, hearing nothing, we will move on to the approval of the minutes. Hopefully everybody has had a chance to review those. Any comments on the minutes? Hearing none, I will take a motion. I will kick you, Todd.
Yes, I never review the minutes. So
All right, maybe somebody that did review the
Yeah.
minutes.
I move to approve.
Thank you, Lan. Do I have a second?
This
I'll
is Alba.
second. Yeah.
Thank you very much. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing nothing, passes unanimously. John Donnell, Board of Directors report.
Let's see, the big item at our Board of Directors meeting this month was the approval to release the long-range transportation plan to public comment, which was approved by our board. The public comment period officially began January 10th, and that will span through February 9th. We also have some open houses and whatnot that we'll chat about later in this meeting. At the Board of Directors meeting, they also approved the support of the state safety target. That's an annual target that also went through the TAC and the CAC. And they also approved supporting the adjusted target for bridge condition, which was the mid-year adjustment from CDOT. And I think that's everything that we discussed at board.
Yeah. Jess, didn't you have an item or was it? No? Okay. Yes, that's, yes, it's all we discussed.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions? All right. Moving on to number 6, action items. Jess?
This item will be going to the board. So anyway, Jess Bechtel, tip planner. So this item is an official policy tip amendment requested by the city of Fountain, and they are asking to adjust the scope for one of their projects. And I will let Abba speak to this one if you guys didn't have a chance to read through it or have any questions about what they are looking to do. They're just looking to focus primarily these funds on one intersection versus 5. And so any questions on this item before recommending approval?
Abba, would you like to give us a quick little summary?
Yeah, sure. So as Jessica said, this is for Fountain.
Could you lean into your mic a little?
Or she's driving from tunnel.
Does this sound better?
That's better. Thank you.
Okay, I was able to mute myself on my screen, so hopefully there's no feedback. But so the project's Fountain ADA Improvements project. The project consists of sidewalk and pedestrian ramp construction and reconstruction. This is to enhance connectivity and make sure all the sidewalks and ped ramp meet ADA requirements. This is following the 2045 LRTP updates. And also our citywide master transportation plan. Originally, the project consisted of five corridors. So our goal is to reduce the scope and bring it down to 2 of those corridors, which are Fortman Avenue from Fountain Mesa to Medicine Bow and Medicine Bow from Fountain Mesa to Woodmanstock. The reason, I guess, behind this scope change is Fountain Mesa Road project, which is on the south of the roundabout. I don't know if I can share my notes, but if you, here, I can share my map. I think that would probably be much easier to visualize. Hopefully that's visible to everybody. Let me know if it is.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So basically, Fountain Mesa Road, which is shown in the green, south of that roundabout, has already been completed. So we took that out of our scope. Moving down to Old Pueblo Road, again, there are challenges associated with property acquisition and maybe bridge widening. The sidewalks only from Link Road to R&B Court. Anything on the north side, there is no sidewalk. So in order to put a sidewalk, which would be 6 feet on both sides, we would need about 110 feet of right of way. We only have 60 foot right now. So majority of those funds would then go towards right of way acquisition, which we thought wouldn't be a fair usage of all those funds. There is a bridge close to where you can see my cursor. Again, the bridge would also need additional right of way, so that would have to go for a additional widening project. So again, challenges with higher cost and property acquisition led us to remove that project. And then the Southmore, which was the third one of that group, we thought in good faith, again, this project we are able to use our CDBG funds for this project. So we didn't think, using TIP funding for Southmore. So again, good faith had us put the funds only to the two projects, which were Fortman Avenue, Fountain Mesa Road to Medicine Bow, and then Medicine Bow, Fountain Mesa Road to Woodman Street. Again, this adjustment leaves us with two priority projects. Those two projects are shown in blue here. This would help us with just focusing most of our funds to maximize our resources, enhance mobility, and deliver the most of that investment towards the value of connectivity. Again, no changes towards the budget for 2026. Local match will be obligated in 2025. We would use that budget to survey and design mostly, and then additional funding may be required for the construction part. There's about 5,800 linear footage of sidewalk and pedestrian ramp. So the additional funding would close to be around 470,000. So again, we would have to submit a TIP amendment in future for the construction part.
Okay, so basically she's asking for a TIP amendment due to cost overruns to remove some of the scope. Do we think that removing that scope would have changed the scoring process during the TIP selections? And Abba, you're welcome for doing Fountain Mesa for you, as the county did that.
If you're asking from a PPACG perspective, I don't believe it would have I don't think it would have impacted scoring.
Okay. I just read that part of the policy today, so that's why I asked the question.
Thank you.
Yeah, and again, that's why I was being sort of quiet, is because that's sort of up to you of whether or not, when you looked at that project, would you have, moved it up or down? Because we never treat the scoring as a black box that you all are forced to take whatever the scores are, right? You have your professional experience to lean back on, and you've done it in the past where you said, well, maybe we know what the scores are, but it makes more sense that this project is up or this one's down. So from a scoring perspective, yeah, probably would have been the same. But from your all perspective, would you have moved something up or down? That's only a question you guys can answer. But from our perspective, if the money was being moved someplace else, we would have been like, "No, you can't do a TIP amendment. You had to put the money back into the pot and then reapply for something new." But because at the end of the day, these projects are still part of the original ask, we did determine that that would be a scope change, and that if the scope is still something that you would all support, then vote yes. If it's a scope change you think is too much or would have, or this project would not have been funded, then you could vote that way. But we think this kind of falls into a consistent process that we've utilized in the past, but there's always nuances that make things a little different. So it's really up to you guys.
Any thoughts or questions on that? Quiet group today. Okay, thank you for your opinion on that. Thank you, Abba, for bringing this for a TIP amendment. With that, I will take a motion.
Talk for the City of Colorado Springs, I move that we, what do we do, accept the TIP amendment as proposed by Fountain, City of Fountain.
And a second? This is Len, I second. Thank you very much. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And any opposed? Hearing that it passes. Thank you, Abba.
Thank you.
All right, Danelle, long-range transportation plan update. Tell us the good news.
The good news is that we were on the agenda for today's Transportation Commission, and they were supportive and approved our GHG report for the long-range transportation plan. So we are over that hurdle. As I mentioned earlier, the document is now out for public comment. Our public comment period will end February 9th. The full draft in accessible HTML pages as well as PDF is on our website. We also have the virtual open house on our website. And we will have 4, weather permitting, 4 in-person open houses as well. The main one will be here at the PPACG office in this building or in this room next Tuesday from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And then we are going to have 3 kind of smaller satellite open houses Thursday, January 23rd from 9:30 to 11:30 in the Monument Town Hall. January 28th, that's also a Tuesday from 1 to 3 at the Fountain City Council Chambers. And then Wednesday, January 29th, from 9 to 11 in the Woodland Park City Council Chamber. So thank you to ABBA and the staffs from Monument and Woodland Park as well for helping us coordinate those. We would greatly appreciate support from TAC members if you're able to attend one or any of those public comment open houses. It's always nice to have folks there, not only for support of the LRTP, but also in case members of the public have comments about particular projects or particular processes. It's always nice to have folks from jurisdictions there as well. The next steps, I think, will be hopefully we will wrap up the public comment period on that 9th of February. We have scheduled a special meeting of the TAC on February 10th at 1 p.m. If that's not on your schedule, please let us know so that we can get it on your schedule so we can make sure we have quorum. Yes, John.
I saw this, that reminded me, I saw Gail yesterday and she did not have it. So if you could
Okay.
resend to Gail, that'd be great.
Excellent. Will do.
She does have it. I just talked to her today.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I misunderstood what she
Yes,
said.
this is Gail Sturdivant. I found it. Let's just say
good.
there were too many innocuous things on my calendar when I was initially looking.
Okay. Then never mind. I never said anything. I'm not even here.
We all know that experience.
So the intent would be that would be a special meeting just for hopefully getting a recommendation from the TAC to the Board of Directors to approve that long-range transportation plan. We'll have a similar special meeting of our Community Advisory Committee on February 11th. That's the one day after, also at 1 p.m. And then our Board of Directors meeting is on February 12th. That's Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. As you all know, we're kind of trying to get this approved as quickly as we can because our current long-range transportation plan falls out of compliance at the end of January. And we're trying to mitigate that so that we don't have any lapse in the ability to process TIP amendments. Of course, that's pending public comments and what we receive. So hopefully we will have a summary and the full list of public comments for you at that next special TAC meeting. Happy to answer any questions, but at this point, that's kind of our next steps.
Any questions? Would encourage everybody to try and make that February meeting. We definitely want to button this up as soon as possible.
Victoria, I just want to point out, we did have new folks join. We have Dan from Monument and Sam from Woodland Park.
Thank you. Welcome, you two. TIP amendment updates or TIP updates.
Yep. Hi, Jess Bechtel, TIP planner again. So only update I have, we are going to open the call for projects for MMOF. We're looking at January 27th. I am finalizing the guidance, making sure dates and everything are good to go for that. And then we'll be sending that out to you all and jurisdictions and everybody. If you have any questions on that, it's roughly 1.6 million in MMOF funds and about 260 in TAP funds that were returned as well. So those will be available. So once that's ready, we'll let you know, and then we'll plan our workshop for selection from there, and probably try to get out any kind of guidance for the TIP policy and procedures, things like that beforehand, just in case there's any questions from our newbies.
So back on what Victoria was saying earlier, we have so many new folks, maybe they don't know what MMOF is.
Correct.
What animal it comes from, spoiler alert, it's state. And then what are the eligibility requirements? So if we have a maybe handy dandy.
Yeah. So to John's point, we will have a full guidance sheet that's going to come out and outline all of that information for you. What is eligible, who is eligible, how to apply, all of that information will be sent to you. If you have any questions afterward, please let us know. The process to apply for the funds will require you to consult with CDOT first before fully submitting your application. And we're happy to help guide you through the process from start to finish. And that's about it. So yeah, you'll get full information on that. Jeff, jump in.
That was really fast. Just for the group's education, MMOF stands for Multimodal Options and Mitigation Fund. Notice I did not say MMOMF. It's all state funding going forward. Thanks to recent state legislation, I believe it was Colorado Senate Bill 260 a few years back. There are different match rates. All of this will be included, but there's a pretty complex formula that figures out the different local match rates. The local match rates differ between 0, 25, and 50%. Certain entities around the state, including within this MPO, have been successful in requesting a reduced local match rate that is at the pleasure of our Transportation Commission. And TAP is similar to MMOF. TAP is federal funding that comes with a 20% local match, a flat rate local match. Again, it's federal funding, so keep that in mind versus the MMOF being state funding. They both fund transportation alternatives, i.e. anything other than the car, bike, pedestrian, transit, so on and so forth.
Thank you, Jeff.
What funding year is it?
Thanks.
Yes, so it's gonna be spread out across the next 5 years. So it's roughly 300,000 in each year between 25 and 29 for the MMOF.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call it MUF.
Great. Any other questions on MMOF? All right, CDOT updates.
Victoria, I have my hand up.
Oh, thank you, Gail,
Victoria.
please.
Yeah, sorry about that. I did have, well, funding year was one question I had. The second one maybe is more of a statement or reminder. Now that we're in the PPRT 3 area, I believe I know the city and the county, I believe Manitou Springs, I can't recall if Green Mountain Falls has it as well, but if you're a member of PPRTA, they have policy 30 where PPRTA could potentially apply on behalf of your jurisdiction to help you with to receive state funding. And if you have questions about that, I'd be happy to.
Thank you for bringing that up, Gail. That's a great point. Yeah, if you're Tabor limited, it is a way to help accept those federal or those state funds without hitting your Tabor cap. All right, now I will move on to CDOT updates.
So I'm going to touch the transit real quick. So real quick, DTR came out with their planning grant for 5311, 5310, and then 5304. So those are supplemental and planning grants. CTE, Clean Transit Enterprise for the state, also came out with their zero emission vehicle plan. So they also are willing to support local entities in developing that plan. Just wanted to get that.
Thank you. Anybody else?
This is Kathleen from HQ, Statewide and Regional Planning. So there are a couple staff updates. We have created a new unit at CDOT HQ. It's called the Subrecipient Grants Support Unit. And what they're going to do is try and streamline the grant process for everyone involved, wherever it's possible. And the leader of that team is Alejandra Diaz. And so we're excited about this, and they're in the process of determining what software they need in order to do some of this work to streamline processes, making it more pleasant for everyone, from applicants to the program managers at CDOT. On a sad note, our previous multimodal planning branch manager passed away. His name was Tim Kirby. And services for honoring his life are going to be this Saturday. And we have the information just in case anybody would like to participate in that event. He was a very young guy and an exceptional person to work with. He was really amazing. So we're really going to miss him. Then also, we have some good information from the STAC meeting. There's a lot of information for new participants if anyone needs to look at it. Onboarding and plan for the year was discussed. The 2050 statewide plan update was discussed, and I have some information on that. A greenhouse gas refresher. And then we also want to announce that a TPR administrator meeting is scheduled for February 6th. Now, Pikes Peak is not eligible for the program's money, but we don't want you to not be aware of that meeting occurring. So we're just letting you know. And in terms of the 2050 statewide plan update, the Central Front Range TPR met. Victoria, I know you were there. And probably others in the room were there. And it was a good meeting, and we're refining a project list, just providing more information on it before the members review it again. And there's a survey out that they can respond if they agree with the projects that are on the list for consideration. And I don't know if Region 2 has anything to add related to the project prioritization piece of it. But
Kathleen, I'm sorry, before you move on, would you send to Danelle the name of the person that's running that new grant division?
Absolutely. I'm going to actually send this text that I'm reading off of, and then she can decide what to put in the notes. So we'll have the name and everything there.
Thank you much.
Okay. So there are some, once again, congratulations to Pikes Peak on their greenhouse gas report approval by the TC. We're all excited about that and happy that you can move forward with the adoption of your long-range transportation plan. There's also information that I'll provide then with links to information from the last TC meeting that was today. And if people want to look at it, and that's it for my updates.
Thank you. Anybody else from CDOT?
Lindsay Hawkes, CDOT Region 2 Planning. I just wanted to remind you guys that there's also HSIP funds available for applying for the different jurisdictions, and draft applications are going to be due on February 21st.
Good reminder. Thank you. All right. Do we want to go over IIJA?
We certainly can. I think the big ones that are open right now is the Protect grant and the Raise grant. I'm sure you all are hard at work looking at those. Did want to mention the in addition to the HSIP, there was a call for Central Front Range MMOF. The link for that is also in your packet, and draft applications for that are due January 24th. There was also a DTR Transit NOFA. I believe everybody got that information, but if you need that information, please let us know.
Thank you, Danelle. Member entity announcements.
I also wanted to mention on the MMOF grant, school districts are eligible to apply for that as well. That's new.
Thank you.
It's new.
And just out of curiosity, Scott, are you guys reaching out to the school districts? Because often we'll be like middle way through and someone will come say, oh, I didn't know. And we're like, well, how do we tell everybody in the whole world? You know, we put out a notice and that's that. So I was just curious.
That's a good point, John. I can certainly try.
And we're happy to help. Just let's coordinate, because again, a lot of times it's like, oh yeah, you guys had this thing and we're a district and we would have been eligible. Why didn't you tell us? Like, because we didn't know you existed. But it becomes difficult. So if there is something that is expanded and we can work together to get the word out as much as possible, just let us know.
All right, so items for future TAC meetings. Our next meeting will be on February 10th at 1 o'clock to accept, hopefully, any changes and finalization of our long-range transportation plan and recommend that to the board. We're also going to have some information coming out on rosters, procedures, bylaws, TIP amendment procedures to help get everybody up to speed and on the same page. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Did I make the record that time?
The record, 36 minutes.
Thank you.
Put it in the bylaw a new requirement that everybody has to take turn on this motion. Yeah.
And so it used to be like the me and Todd and you know, now I'm not now. Yeah, we're gonna have to break.